Hi, everybody. Hi. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I know the date and time is getting a little off track here with the holidays. How's everybody doing? Lori J here, money, mindset, manifestation coach. I am popping in today. And first, let me just preface this with my dogs are home and my family is somewhere else in the house. So you might hear my dogs barking, but I really wanted to come on and share this with you. Oh, and my bathroom is being remodeled currently. So if you hear my dogs barking, loud noises, um, if I waited for the timing to be perfect to do this live, it would never get done. So here I am showing you what it's like when everything's not perfect, and it might get loud and noisy here, but that's okay because this really, I get to share this. So, yay. So, hi. So, I'm coming in here to talk today about the one thing that is missing from your plan for 2022, the thing that you think you can do on your own, the thing that you think that, that your brain says, we got this, we can do this. But it's actually the thing that's going to show up about 2 weeks after you start the thing, right? In 2022, it's going to show up like week 2, week 3, maybe week 4 of January in 2022. And I want to just say what it is now, and let's talk about it. Okay, so again, if you're watching this, even if it's the replay, let me know you can hear me. Oh, yeah, my microphone's on. Okay, yes. But I really wanted to come in and talk today about the thing that is missing. And it just came to me this morning because, as a coach, I have coaches that I hire within my company. I also work for another coach, Laura Wick, the creator of Body Mind Coaching, Body Mind Living. So I am around coaches all the time. And so I love creating programs, systems, workshops, things, because from what I see in my experience, like I know what makes the difference and what is really going to move the needle for my clients, right? And that is accountability and support. It's like a two-pronger. And I know that you're like, I don't need support. I've been doing stuff on my own. And there are so many people that, yes, like that's, you may be able to do it on your own. And the thing is, though, is the difference that having support and accountability makes, right? It's going to speed up you reaching your goals, your dreams, your desires, and whatever it is you're calling in 2022 specifically. That's like, because we are at what, December 29th, right? We are just a couple of days from the end of 2021, going to be stepping into 2022, right? All bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go, right? And, what are you choosing, calling in, claiming, naming for yourself that you want to reach in 2022? You can even share them below in the comments right below this video. Like, what are 1 to 2 things, or maybe 3 things, or as many as you want, that you are calling in 2022? Because this is how like our body works, right? Like like in our physiology, what's going to happen when you get excited for something is you are going to have endorphins. You are going to have all the feel good chemicals, dopamine, right? All of these feel good, amazing chemicals that are really driving the excitement, right? They are like fueling you. You're like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this. I'm going to create this. I'm going to create that. I'm going to, whatever the goal is, I want to, maybe you want to have, 5 new coaching clients in the first quarter of 2022. Maybe you want to set aside and have 6 hours a week that is solely for you by April 30th, 2022, right? Where you can just do whatever it is that you want. Maybe it's you want to start, I don't know, you want to start looking for a new job. Maybe you want to start a new business, right? And you don't even have to even have the time to even do that for yourself. So maybe in the first quarter of 2022 for you, that looks like just setting aside, and there goes my dog, sorry, 6 hours for you, okay? Maybe that's what, is one of the things. And what can happen is, right, so like it's like a rocket taking off, literally, like think, Cape Canaveral, like, right, like the space shuttle is going to launch. What happens, right? Like you have like the igniter, the ignition, the thrusters, you see like all that fiery flame coming out the bottom, but the rocket isn't really moving yet, right? It's stationary. While it might be like rocking back and forth from the vibration and energy that is being propelled out the end of it, it isn't moving yet. It's just getting worked it's getting ignited. So that's what I like to call like the idea, right? Like that's for us. Like when you start seeing that red fire come out the end of the rocket, like that's the idea. That's like, oh, I'm really excited. Like I'm gonna start doing these things to really get this going, get me towards what it is that I desire. I'm just gonna come up with one, and let's just say it's that you want to have 6 hours a week to yourself. Whether it's an hour in the morning, whether it's 30 minutes in the morning, whether it's 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, whatever this is, okay? Let's say that's the thing. And you're going to need what? All the things. You're going to need boundaries. You're going to need the space in your home to do that. You're going to need someone to watch the kids if that's the case, right? Like all of these things. So that's the fire underneath the space shuttle, okay? So you're excited, everything is going well, and you're maybe even like a weekend, right? And it's like, oh, this is great. Like, I feel amazing. Your family's starting to notice a difference. You feel better. You feel more energized, right? And now, like, this is the rocket taking off, right? Like, it's like, whoa, it's still got all that fiery fuel underneath it, still propelling it and moving it forward, right? And maybe it's like week 2 and like you're still going, like you've missed a few days, but you're still having enough of results at this point still, right? So the rocket's still launching. It's like, and there's my dogs. And so now it's coming up. So here's the platform, here's the rocket, and now it's starting to curve, right? Like this is where it's starting to go up into space. So it's taken off, and now you start to see it curve, right? No longer needs that fuel, right? It's still got some, but it's on its own now, right? And it doesn't have. So what that part is in your body of like, your body's returning back to homeostasis, right? Like this is your body's job. Its sole job to keep you alive is to return back to homeostasis. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Okay, so if I waited for this all to be perfect, and I would never have been able to come on today. So what's happening is your body now is like, okay, that's enough of all these extra chemicals being in here, the dopamine, the feel good, all of that stuff. It's got to start to back down now, okay? Its one job is to come back to homeostasis. Needs to keep things on an even keel. So now this is when you're making that turn in the space shuttle, right? And this is like when now, like, the driver, the pilot's like really taking over, right? Like everything, now the pilot is driving. Now it's like the computers are there to help and support, right? But the pilot is really driving. Not that I know anything about NASA or anything, but this is what I would imagine would be happening now in my mind. So they are now driving the shuttle. Okay. So this is when you need like that support, the systems, the computers, right? The technology, the support staff within the cockpit, right? Like their support, they've got, mission control, all of that support, all of that accountability, keeping them, okay, this is what you do here, this is what you do there, right? So that they're all working together. This is the power of support and accountability when that rocket fuel, when your body has returned back to homeostasis, when doubt creeps in of, oh my gosh, can I actually do this? Like, I don't have the help right now to be able to take this time for me. Or, I don't know, like whatever starts to come up and get in the way, right? Because this is you literally in your brain. Now, this is the part where you are writing a new neural pathway, right? You are making a new habit. You have to ask for help. You get to ask for support. You get to reach out to others, right? And how important is it to be surrounded with people who are themselves doing the exact same thing for themselves in their own lives? How important, like my grandma always used to tell me, Lori, the people you surround yourself, like show me the 6 closest people that are around you, and I will tell you where you're going, and I'll tell you who you are. Because when you have people who have similar goals, plans, dreams, desires, you lift each other up to reach them. And when you are surrounded by naysayers or people who aren't supportive, right, like then they pull us back down, right? So being surrounded by people who support us and our dreams, goals, visions, desires is so freaking important. It is necessity, right? It is necessity. for those times when, when you're in the shuttle and it's arcing, right? And it's like, okay. And now it's like you're on your own propulsion. When things get hard and doubt comes in of, can I do this? And all the things are going wrong, that is when it's like to have that space to come into and to talk about with other people who are also in the similar situation. That is a game changer. You get to support each other, right? This is what I see in all the coaching programs that I run personally for my own coaching practice, and this is what how I support other coaches. Like I was sharing before, if you've ever heard of Body Mind Living, Laura Wick, this is how I support her. Her members too. Like it's support, it's accountability. It's like, when people want you to succeed even more than you yourself want to succeed, those are the people, right? That's the kind of support and accountability that I'm talking about, okay? And again, I apologize for my dogs, but if I waited for the time to be perfect, that would never happen, and this live and this sharing would never get to you, and that is more important to me, that this gets to you. And I'm just going to check my volume and make sure it's turned all the way up. Okay, great. So, when we are getting clear about our dreams, our goals, our dreams, our desires for 2022, right? When you are deciding that you want something different, and so you get super excited, like you know what you want, like you're getting clear about it, and even if you don't know what you want, and that's when it can really be like, oh, I don't know what I want, and you can cycle on that hamster wheel of like, I don't know, reaching out and having support and getting, having someone ask you questions. And someone there, I'm sorry, hold on one second. Clark, someone, my doggy Clark, and that's two dogs, that's Phoebe too. Clark and Phoebe say hi. So when you may not be clear, okay, yep. When you may not be clear on what you are calling in, that's another area of where you get to brainstorm with other people. You get to listen to what other people, and you're like, oh, I could do that. You start to step into possibility and what's possible for you. For me, this was game changing when I would come into communities like this where I didn't even know what was possible. I was, booked out massage therapist, didn't have any time or space for me on my calendar, was always working, was exhausted. Like the bullshit in my life, I just thought was normal and that everybody went through it. And that might be, maybe how you're feeling of like, you think that that's just normal. And actually, and I'm going to talk about this more next week, is the bullshit is actually bringing to your attention what needs to change. It's actually bringing to your attention of like, now's the time. Okay. So, but coming back to when you surround yourself with people that are so excited for you, want to see you succeed, that support, that accountability is the thing that gets to step in and help you when you feel like quitting, when you feel like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. What am I doing wrong? When doubt pops up and it's like, oh, I'm just going to go back to the way things were. How many times has that happened to you? Because I'm going to share, it's happened to me, and before I understood and realized the power of, support and accountability. This was like, I would get all excited. I would like be all energized. Right. 2-3 weeks would go by and I was like, oh my God, this is boring. This is like, I don't want to say it's boring, but just like, it wasn't, I was getting confused. Doubt was creeping in. I didn't have the people around me that also believed that this was possible for me. So why this is important right now and what I'm sharing here with you is that for the vision board workshop that I have coming up. Okay, apparently my whole family is coming in. Okay, everyone's saying hi. And like I said, if I had waited for this to be perfect, right, like this, it would never have happened. So for the vision board workshop that I have coming up on January 12th, 2022, one of the things that is going to make this different from other ones is, or from maybe other workshops that you've taken, is we have, starting already right now, support and accountability inside a private community where if you are not clear on what it is you even want, if you have no idea where to start, but maybe your body is saying like, I'm exhausted, I am stressed out, I am overwhelmed, I am overworked, something is missing, something is off, something isn't right. Those are all signs and symptoms that something needs to change, that whatever that might be. And you might have had like, the hints or the inklings, or that something needs to shift or change, but just maybe haven't been quite clear on what that is. But those little nudges coming from your body are there to support you. That's literal support in helping you make changes. Because when's the time that we typically make changes is usually when something is not working right, not going right. Sorry, my husband is crawling me. Okay. So when things may not be going right, or when stress is showing up, when that person is like just driving you crazy at work and you've done everything to solve the problem and it's just not going away, like these are all instruments and tools to help us and support us make freaking change, right? Like, I know it doesn't seem like it at the time, and it can seem so far from where you are to where you're going that it's like, I can't even get started, right? Which is like another reason for support, right? And for kind of like going back to the space shuttle taking off, it's like over 75% of the fuel for the space shuttle, I think it was like 75, I'm almost positive, I'm going to check it, but it was like 75% of the fuel, over 60% of the fuel needed to launch the space shuttle is at liftoff. Not the rest of the time in orbit, right? No, it liftoff. So this is that time when, you need all of that help and support, those ideas to really get this cranking, to really get like, I am not tolerating these things that are not working in my life anymore. I am sick and tired of commuting for an hour. I am sick and tired of commuting for 20 minutes, whatever it is. I'm sick and tired of my cubicle. I need a freaking window. Like, maybe up until now you're like, well, maybe if I could get a promotion, then I could go over. If I get a different job. Stop. You are playing way too freaking small. Way too small. That's like 15K more a year. Is that seriously gonna make that commute any better? Is 30K gonna make that commute any better? I mean, seriously, in the scheme of things, $30,000. I mean, like, these are the things where I share that you need support, you need accountability, because you're not freaking asking for enough and you don't even know it. And this is the power of community. This is the power of support. This is the power of accountability. This is the power to make these changes, to follow through, to even like ask for what it is that you want, to even get clear about it, because you're manifesting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Right now, you are manifesting. Right now, in this very moment. So if you're focused on stress thoughts, if you're focused on, accidentally, it's all unintentional because you're manifesting by default. You're not manifesting with intention, which is another thing we're going to talk all about inside the Vision Board Workshop. Y'all, this Vision Board Workshop should seriously be like $6,000 for all the things that I include in it. But it's not. It's $397, and you get like support from today all the way through and a week after the workshop, and it's not even until January 12th. So, like, this is crazy town support, crazy town accountability, crazy town support in getting clear. Even if you don't know what you want, you get to tap into the resources of everyone else inside the group, so that you get to really get clear and start to step into what's possible. Start to step into, you don't have to work 9 to 5. You don't have to work 10 to 2. You could make up your own hours and work whenever you want. It's like, it's just, you just don't even know what's possible. You might have like this idea of like what's possible, but like this whole room size is actually like not even all that's possible. Like, it's so big. It's just ginormous. You can't even, like, none of us can even like grapple our minds around what is actually available to us. But we're going to talk more about it inside the Vision Board Workshop. And the reason why I've done it with the accountability and support as well is because you need to make time and space for you. I don't mess around. Like, we get started right now. Like, when you sign up, you are literally lighting up a neon sign to the universe that says, I am ready to stop tolerating this bullshit in my life, and I am ready for so much more. And even if like that's just a feeling of like something's missing, something's off, something's wonky, you just kind of feel like, what the hell? Like, what is, if you're feeling like even ungrateful for even feeling like that, because like you should be happy, like, and all the shoulds start popping up. Oh my goodness, don't even get me started on the shoulds. But this is what I'm talking about with accountability and support, because all the things that I'm sharing are exactly all the things that are going to come up on your journey in 2022, 2023, 2024, and all the years beyond. It's when you have support and accountability to recognize what's actually happening, when it's happening, what it's pointing you to, what it's showing you is possible. That is when change gets to be made. That is when you recognize these moments for what they really are. And that is like an entirely different way of being and different way of living. You know, a line at the grocery store, you just start to see it differently. You know, I can't even describe the whole thing, but it all, like, one of the places where we start is when you're getting clear on what it is that you actually do want. And sometimes these might seem unrelated, but they actually are. Because if you don't know what you want, then let me just put it to you this way. Like, so if someone was like working for you, like, you know, say you have someone working for you, would you want them just coming into work saying like, okay, let's just see what happens today. Let's just hope you make enough money to cover your bills today, right? Like, do you want that? Or do you want like, okay, today's goals are, we have our overhead expenses, our profits, and my paycheck and all these things are 7K. What are we doing to make 7K today? Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 is what I'm doing to make 7K today. Okay, great, let's go. I mean, if you know exactly what you want, and you know exactly what you need, and you know exactly where you're going, you get there. You get there. You might need accountability and support along the way. Someone might have a question, or hey, this isn't working right, or this isn't working right, and that's exactly why you have our accountability support group to come into for when those moments happen, because all along the way, people, places, situations are going to pop up that say you can't do that. They're going to say that's not possible. They're going to say, why are you doing that? That's crazy. Why can't you just be happy with what you have, right? And after you hear that enough times, you believe it. You listen, right? It's who you're surrounded with. Just like my grandma used to say, you show me the 6 people around you and I'll show you who you are and where you're going. It makes all the difference in the world when you have that support and accountability of getting clear so that you keep going, so that when those hard times come up, you've got people in your corner cheering you on that want you to succeed just as much, if not more. They get just as excited for you as they do for themselves, because you become proof for them that this works, right? And so, like, what would it feel like to be able to share your inspirations and like what you're working on and your wins? Like, what would that feel like? I know for me, like, the first time I ever had a space where I could like share my win and I wasn't being like just stuck up, like I wasn't being stuck up or nasty or like, oh, what if I make someone else feel bad? You know what I mean? So you don't ever say anything, you know, because you don't want to make someone else feel less than you. Like your parents always said, like, oh my gosh, don't brag, you know. It's not bragging. You're actually like sharing the win and inspiring others that that's possible for them too, right? And then they can ask you like, what'd you do? Oh, share that with me. And then you're like, yeah, here, this is what I did, right? And then everybody wins. And then everybody just keeps getting to go through that. So there's going to be a time when you're the person that's like, gosh, what did you do? How did you do that? What happened? Share with me, tell me. And there's times that you are going to be the person that, you know, gets to inspire others. And we're all at different places at different times, which makes the group community support accountability even more powerful, because as you might be hitting a lull, someone else is hitting a high. As someone else is hitting a high, you know, or vice versa. So it's always like this even keel, right? There might be highs and lows, but we're trying to really stay in line with, there's always somebody. It never ceases to amaze me how there's always somebody right where they need to be for not only themselves, but also for another person too. So, all right. If you are like, yeah, like this sounds like so much more than the Vision Board Workshop, because it is so much more than the Vision Board Workshop. If you're like, yeah, I could really, you know, help getting clear, help setting some time and space aside for me to do that, accountability support in making that happen, even like after the workshop for a whole other week, so I can really launch myself, right? You know, back to that space shuttle, really launch that off the ground and start to get that trajectory so that I can keep going and get those tools, those habits, those patterns, and really really lay that groundwork now, then you're going to want to sign up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in the comments below, the link to go ahead and get signed up. There's more details and all kinds of information in there as well for you. So if there's something you're not clear about or sure about, go ahead, click that link, and you feel free to tag me in here, ask a question, go right ahead. And if you're just joining, watch the live from the beginning. This is a really amazing and powerful resource. If for nothing else, it's just a really great, powerful resource. All right, so I'm going to drop that link below. If you're interested, go ahead, click that, sign up. We start right now for the accountability and the support. The Vision Board Workshop is on January 12th. Let's get you knocked off for 2022, like super crystal clear, all those things. You can start really calling them in, making this year different, right? Making it different, adding, putting in there exactly what you want, and stop settling. Just stop settling. I mean, if this thing could be titled anything, it would just say stop settling. And you might not even realize that you are, but like I'm here to tell you, you are. You are. There's so much more meant for you. And let's just start like dipping the toe in, and then you'll see exactly what I mean. All right, I'm going to put the link below. Thanks.